So I'm here with Mike Infante. Mike is a professional audio technician. He's going to help us go over some of the more advanced techniques. In the last episode, we learned how in a room like this, the boom mic is your best option. And right now, we're going to start with the proper mic placement.
Ideally, you want to get the mic as close as you can to the subject without getting in the shot. And you want to have it at a 45-degree angle, so it's sort of hitting their top of their chest, their mouth region. So just in case they move back and forth a little bit, you can make sure that the sound is consistent.
These are two examples of different mics you can put on a boom. One of them is a shotgun microphone, and this is this long guy here, and the other one is a cardioid microphone right here.
It's a hypercardioid. It's a little bit wider pickup pattern. It's primarily used as an indoor microphone. The pickup pattern comes down sort of like a heart, cardioid. It's got a very deep, rich sound, and since it's got a wider pickup pattern, it can retain consistency if someone moves around like this or they move back and forth. It's just overall a great sounding mic.
A shotgun mic, by design, right, will pick up more of the reflected sounds from the room than a hypercardioid. It picks up from the rear of the microphone more?
A little bit, yeah.
And then it picks up to the sides in this low bar pattern.
Yeah, shotgun mics aren't really used indoors for that reason.
I'm talking, it should sound really beautiful. This is what an audio tech would use indoors. This is a professional microphone. Here's the shotgun microphone. Typically, a professional audio tech won't use this indoors, but everybody else does.
One of the downsides with it is that it doesn't perform well off axis, meaning sounds that it picks up that it's not in its pickup pattern, they just won't sound as natural or as clean.
I'm here in the sweet spot. Now I'm still talking. This is the Sennheiser 416 shotgun microphone. This is the Sennheiser 416 shotgun microphone.
What's great about a shotgun mic is that it'll pick up sounds that are farther away from the microphone than the hypercardioid.
This is why the shotgun mic's so good on camera, because you don't have to be necessarily right next to somebody for documentary work or for B-roll. If you're shooting something that's happening and you just point a camera at a conversation, this mic will get you closer. These two are very subtle differences, aren't they? In the last episode, we heard the difference between a lav and on-camera mic and a boom mic. That was a huge difference, whereas this is kind of a subtle difference.
You don't need to worry about getting a hypercardioid mic as a videographer. A shotgun mic is a great all-around tool.
Now let's cover setting levels.
I think a good place to set your levels on camera would be somewhere around -18. And that might seem a little low, but the thing is you could always bring it up in post. You can't bring it down after it peaks. You don't want to clip or peak because that'll distort the audio.
Yeah, this is what happens when the audio clips. So you want to keep that from happening. This is just too loud. So what's another way of keeping that from happening?
Check in your camera and see if there is a limiter. It senses when you're hitting a certain decibel point that's too hot, and it'll automatically lower the gain, covering yourself so the signal doesn't peak. So far, we've been talking about audio straight to camera. There's another way to do it. So this is what we call dual system. That's where you record audio into one place, video to other, and then you sync them up later. Basically, this is a mixer recorder. I can have up to 8 mics with phantom power. A good reason to record, separately is that a higher quality preamp will be cleaner, there'll be less hiss. You'll have more advanced options, better control over your audio levels, better limiters. They're a lot higher quality than you'd find in a camera. Exactly, or like a Zoom recorder, one of those small ones. There are a lot of options for mixer recorders that you could easily mount to your camera, like Zoom recorders. I'm sure people have used those. The Sound Devices MixPre system is great. Once you record on a dual system, then you have to sync it, and there are 3 ways to sync. The first is time code. That is where you have basically a clock in the camera and a clock in the mixer. The software, whether it's Premiere or anything else you're using to edit, can just sync them by that time code. That requires a camera that has time code. That's a much more advanced camera, and it requires a mixer that has time code. That's more advanced. There are other ways though. You can sync by audio. You can use Pluralize, you can use Premiere, and they will take your sound file and your video files and they'll sync them by the audio waves. The problem with that is, if you're recording something that's too far away from your camera's audio isn't going to sound anything like.
But if there's no way to frame the boom out of your shot,
you're going to need to use a wireless lav.
There are outputs on the mixer recorder that you could send into your camera as sort of like a scratch track or a guide track as an easy way to sync in post.
The third is to slate, right? And that's it. I mean, literally, that's it.
The good old clap.
The clap. Yeah. All you're doing is making a sound that you can see it happening and you can hear it happening, and you literally just put the the clips together.
Really, at the end of the day, you could spend thousands of dollars on something like this or something else, but really what it comes down to is getting a decent shotgun mic and getting it in the right position. You can get a shotgun mic in the $300 to $500 range or less. As long as you get it right there, you set the levels right, even if you run into camera, it's still gonna sound pretty good.
That's the overview of advanced techniques for audio. Thank you, Mike, for coming around.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me.
Make sure to watch episode 3 on tips and tricks for post-production in audio and what to do in the editing suite after you've captured audio on set. Thanks for watching.